Organizations are spending fortunes on retention strategies just to lose employees over a $50 gift card.
Welcome to the official CultureCon podcast, where we explore how work actually works.
We're your hosts, Zach Blumenfeld
and Nick Lombardino.
Whether you're leading a team, shaping culture, or just passionate about making work more meaningful, you're in the right place.
Each episode will bring you stories, insights, and bold ideas from people who are building better workplaces and better work experiences.
The official CultureCon podcast starts now. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the CultureCon podcast. Today, we're joined by Trey Ross from Corporate Traditions. Trey has built his career helping organizations create employee recognition programs that actually work. Through his work at Corporate Traditions and as the host of the Employee Gifting Simplified podcast, he spends a lot of time talking with HR leaders about appreciation, engagement, and what it takes to build cultures where people feel valued. What we appreciate about Trey's perspective is that he doesn't just think about recognition as a holiday gift or years of service award. He thinks about it as an everyday leadership practice that shapes culture, strengthens relationships, and helps people feel seen. Trey, we're excited to have you here. Welcome to the show.
Woo! Excited. That's the best intro I've ever received. So I feel
so
just
good.
Humbled and full of gratitude just to be here with both of you. So super excited to do this. I love what CultureCon is doing. Love the energy, love the focus, especially on people and delivering an experience that people can take away and actually have value from it versus just another conference just to get credits. So it's awesome.
We love you. We love you. Trey, what's something someone did to make you feel appreciated that you've never forgotten?
Oh, that's a good question. Best thing ever is I'm a big basketball fan. So I grew up playing basketball. I was basically like 5'10", 5'11" when I was in 8th grade. So I've always played post. And then when I got into high school, I stopped growing. And so they moved me positions, but I've always been good at like posting because that's how I grew up. And my boss right out of college played D2 basketball and actually led the nation in 3-point percentage his senior year. And just really cool. So we bonded over basketball. And actually before we both left that company at about the same time, but for my birthday, when I turned 30, he actually gave me, Gonzaga is my favorite basketball team. I followed Gonzaga for a long time. He actually got me a book. It's on my bookshelf right here, A Lasting Mark, which is the book by Mark Few, about like his legacy at Gonzaga. And I've never felt more seen than when he gave that book to me with a letter, because he knew basketball and Mark Few and Gonzaga Bulldogs were really close to my heart. And then he's also slipped me different things, helped me get different incentives and worked with me and told me different things and stuff like that. And I still remember getting that book and tears almost coming to my eyes, even though I didn't even know that was a book. So it was cool to be able to get it.
That's so meaningful. That's awesome. And yeah, I mean, we had similar stories growing up. I was like this height, like 6'2" in 8th grade, and just stopped growing. But I also was not very good at basketball, so I played bench a lot. That was kind of where I sat on my freshman basketball team. But on that note, with the book and that being so meaningful, like it just shows, yeah, you're seen, you feel valued. It's something meaningful. I'm curious, like in your work, how do organizations move from like the occasional or traditional recognition that maybe like, I don't know, the holidays, you get some kind of gift basket that may not be relatable to you, or a pen or a shirt that you're never going to wear, but like to actually creating a culture of appreciation. And it's just kind of like the norm of how people work together. Like, how do you make that switch?
I think it depends on the size of the organization, right? Like the story that I just told is, it's easy when your organization is 15, 20, 35 people, it's manageable. Like back then at that stage of that company, there were only 15, 20 people. And so it was really easy to kind of have those personal relationships with everyone, because everyone was part of the hiring process of everybody. We all met with them. We all knew them. We all made sure that it was we would get a good vibe from them, for lack of a better words, to make sure that we were achieving our results. But what I see is as companies start to grow and expand and they really start to scale and they break past that 35 to 50 employee mark, it's almost impossible to give personalized gifts like what I just talked about. In theory, I've never met an HR leader, I've never met a manager who doesn't want to make a lasting impact on the people that they work with, that's on their team, in that same level with how that book impacted me. But what happens is you don't have to just give up. And I see a lot of leaders just kind of giving up when organizations get to that 50 and they start relying on just, hey, let's just bulk order for a massive discount water bottles, jackets, t-shirts, hats to save the company money. And then we're going to try to put on a big old huge Joker type smile and give it to an employee and say, hey, we're so grateful for you. And here's a t-shirt, right? To use your analogy, what I see organizations doing the best is passing down the autonomy of choice to the employees, which is scalable. So when you do have a budget for employees, instead of trying to pay for some platform or paying $10, $12 just for processing fees or product fees or things like that, invest that entire budget into your employees so that way they can choose something that's most impactful for them. Personally, that's why I see a lot of value in the programs that we provide, is because we make the delivery for a gift or a gift card or things like that that you're looking to show appreciation to employees. We make it easy for the admin so that way they can scale it, but personalize it on an individual level, but then allow the freedom of choice for employees to choose what's most meaningful for them. And sometimes that little act of choice is really all that we need. Like the entire world, what we've been able to accomplish has all happened because people acting from their own free will and choice of choosing what they want to do. And sometimes as leaders, we pigeonhole our employees to only wanting or thinking that they want two or three things instead of letting them have freedom and be adults and choose exactly what they want.
Right. In corporate traditions, Trey, I mean, you work with companies that are renowned for their workplace culture. I'm thinking of orgs like Chobani, Chick-fil-A, PepsiCo. So with like your exposure to these organizations, is there anything special or unique that they're doing that you've picked up on that makes you feel like the recognition actually reflects the culture instead of just kind of this check in the box mentality?
Yeah, I see the most with like those larger organizations, their ability to think outside the box. It's commonplace in today's environment for employees to expect or anticipate. Expect maybe is like a heavy word, but like anticipate some sort of something additional as kudos at the end of the year for the work that we've done, right? That could be in a dinner, a luncheon, a get together, raffles, whatever it might be. And then other things that I see traditional that's kind of accepted in the marketplace now for employees is like something, some sort of recognition on their birthday and their work anniversary. But for these larger companies and even the smaller ones that I see that are really crushing it and are actually retaining their top talent and not losing them to different comp plans that seem way cooler on the outside, is that they do these random gifts that are unexpected. So they'll do like a winter during summer activity, or they'll do like a barbecue-a-thon, or they'll do these random weird St. Patrick's Day uh activities together that are not normal holidays to show appreciation to employees. And that's what I think makes a lasting impact with these employees, is when it's sudden, it's not super anticipated, but it's just enough that it stands out in their memory that, wow, oh, St. Patrick's Day, why the heck are we getting something? And it's exciting, it's positive, it leads to that because they're not anticipating it. Because we all know expectations that are not met are like terrible, right? And so the buildup of a holiday gift, everybody knows it's coming. So everybody has these anticipations. They hear the earnings reports all year and they're like, man, we're going to get a massive bonus, yada, 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 yada. And then all of a sudden they get a $25 gift and they're like, gosh, dang it, right? That anticipation builds, the expectation's not met, the frustration sets in, and that's why so many people put their 2 weeks notice in over Christmas break, or over that holiday break, right? So that random acts of recognition throughout the year that cost you 25, $50 per employee actually help you when it comes to working with them at the end of the year, protecting your culture at the end of the holidays, because you've built up this store or banked up this store of appreciation and recognition with them throughout the year during these random moments.
Let's take it a layer deeper. So we talked about like what an organization can do, but I know you're connected with some really great leaders. Maybe it's mid-manager, maybe it's a CEO of a company, but what are some small habits that you've seen them do that really make people feel seen. And you shared that story too about your own leader. But I'm curious if you have any other stories that really make someone feel like genuinely valued.
Actually, one of the stories that I tell all the time is actually somebody I met at the CultureCon AI Summit. We had a conversation that was back in, it was in April of 2026, right? Or I might have the dates wrong, April. I met her and we were talking about employee recognition and chatting, and we were sharing a little bit about our programs and how they make an impact. And she shared a story of a manager kind of going against the status quo that helped her personally. And so the story, without telling too many details, was right around COVID when everything was shutting down. The company she was working for is a really large recognized brand and organization. We'd all know the name of it. They were sending all their employees home, and then they gave all their employees a work from home stipend to buy extra cords or like keyboards or stands or things like that. So that way they could get set up and the work could progress while everybody was working from home, because back then, not everybody had everything to be able to do their job at home. So at this exact same time, this lady, this HR leader that I met with, her basement flooded when everything was going home. She had the basic materials that she needed for her work from home, but the basement flooding wasn't like normal water. It was sewer water, and it flooded her whole basement. She used every towel in her entire house to try to clean and absorb and get everything under control while she was waiting for the company to come and help them with the repairs, right? And she started talking to her manager during one of these one-on-ones, and her manager's like, you know what? Screw it. Use your work from home stipend and go buy towels and buy the things that you need to help the quality of your life outside of work actually make sure that you can deliver during work. And she's like, that happened 6 years ago. And she's like, I still think about that leader. And it was one of the most impactful moments of my entire life that was against what her protocol was. She was told to tell me only to use that for X, Y, and Z, but she's like, use it for whatever you need. And I think that's the impact of seeing people for like people, instead of just like, oh, we have to follow this protocol. We have to follow these requirements or these outlines. Like, see people and treat people like people. And then she's like, I didn't want to leave that company. I was loyal and I've been loyal to her. But then once that manager left, things transitioned, and that's when she ended up leading. And I think that just goes to show, when you're thinking outside the box and you see people on your team for who they are, whether it's you're a CEO and you see your employees, or you're a main frontline manager, you can still make that type of a lasting impact just by seeing them. That's really, at recognition at its core, is just seeing people for who they are. You don't need to have an employee recognition software or tool or kudos or whatever system you might have. If you just look people in the eyes and really see them for who they are, that recognition does way more than a pizza party, than a birthday cupcake, than a birthday gift card, anything like that. And it helps you kind of hit your goals as a business.
So true. You made me think of a story of a recognition that stayed with me from a leader that I used to work with. So this guy's name is Jason Potter. He's the CEO of a consulting firm in Madison called Farwell, and I used to work for them. I'm actually sitting in their office right now as I record this. And one of the very first office moves we ever made, Jason knew that I loved cribbage. I'm such an old fart. He knew I loved cribbage, and he knew another coworker of mine loved cribbage, and we would play it in the office from time to time. And so when we moved to the new office, he found on Etsy someone who built like literal custom cribbage tables with like big old pegs that you could put into it. And so he surprised us with it when we moved into the new office. And not only did that gift serve as kind of like recognition and appreciation for us, what really separated it was he wanted to play with us. So it was like an opportunity for our leader to connect with us at a deeper level on something that we loved and we were passionate about, and was often like a respite for us during the day to, if we wanted to celebrate a win, or if we just needed to step away from our computers for a while, that cribbage table was there. And so to be able to have Jason come and join in with us, I know that always felt like a huge energy boost for us. And look at this, I'm wearing a cribbage t-shirt right now. This is how ridiculous, how ridiculous
Hey,
I am about that game.
I just want to see the cribbage table at CultureCon now. So
Oh,
we got to get one there, have a tournament or
it's
something for
there,
one of the
dude.
happy hours.
it is there. I always keep a board on my person at any given moment so we can easily fire up a game.
Oh,
Dude. All right, well,
let's do it.
speaking of ancient board games, let's talk about kind of the future of work and how things are changing so quickly, with AI, with hybrid teams. Trey, like how do you think the way we recognize and appreciate people will need to evolve in the years to come?
I think speed is the first thing that I hear about. So often when I'm in conversations, like the speed to recognize, and what I mean by when saying speed to recognize, I don't mean like, I do mean it's kind of tandem, like speed to recognize an employee for something that they've done, but speed to recognize that you need to have speed to recognize. I hope that kind of makes sense. I just had a call yesterday with an HR leader, and she was telling me the story. Usually, what they'll do, and this is pretty commonplace with a lot of organizations that we work with, is they go to the store, and the HR leader or the finance director or the operations leader will go to the store, buy 10, 15, 25 gift cards, and then they just lock them in the vault or the drawer or something. And then when an employee earns something, you have to go, the HR manager usually gets notified. They have to go to whoever has the gift card. 9 times out of 10, that person's never in the office or out on vacation every time, but they're the only person that has a key. Now the employee is somewhat frustrated because they were told, hey, go to HR, get your gift card. HR doesn't have that. They have to wait, go get it. There's a delay. The employees get frustrated. They shake it off, even though they tell them, like, hey, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Deep down inside, they're kind of frustrated because they're like, hey, why did I go out of my way to come here or to request or to ask, and you guys don't even have it on your person? And I hear that more often than not. And it's not a fault of finance. It's not a fault of operations. It's not a fault of HR. It's just the delineation of those three kind of all not having access. And so what I see being the future is when you say an employee receives an award, that award or recognition piece or certificate or whatever you want to do, that needs to be in their hands or on their person or verbally said within, I think 24 hours is too late. I think it needs to be within 30 minutes to an hour personally. We have technology now that you can send stuff out company wide in 2 seconds. There's no reason it should take this. And this story that she told me, she's like, I have an employee that won a barbecue we did in May around Memorial Day has still not got her gift card for winning the event. And it's July. We're late July. And she's like, we have to do what you guys are doing because I can send her a gift card and try to. And I said, I was like, exactly. A few days ago, I made a post on my LinkedIn about a conversation I had about an HR leader going to the store to buy gift cards, a Visa, paying the activation fees. They buy them every year in January. They'll buy a year's worth of gift cards, do it at one bulk because finance hates multiple invoices and receipts, etc. Just to find out 1 in 3 of those Visa gift cards have been hacked, and there's no money left on them. And so that even has even more of a negative impact as you give a gift card, hey, this is $100 on it for the employee just to use it and say, this gift card only has $3 left on it. It's so disheartening to hear those stories. And she's like, I find out that cards have that. And she's like, I've thrown away, instead of telling anybody or even trying to call Visa and get it refilled, she's like, it's not worth my time. I just throw the card away and buy them another one and give it to them. And that's wasted money that we could protect. And on that post, I told that story and I had somebody leave a comment that says, and he's a recruiter and he's like, I call people all the time. Your best talent for your company, I'm calling them all the time to try to get them to come to a different company. And he said, people never quote to me about the positive experiences. It's always the negative one. And he's like, you would be surprised at how many of those negative experiences that I build off of to get them to switch companies come from a $50 gift card that they never bought or that was delayed. It's like organizations are spending fortunes on retention strategies just to lose employees over a $50 gift card. What is going on if we're so focused on retaining the employees? And that's the future of work to me, is it's like, it's not the cost of a $50 gift card. It's the impact of how quick you're able to recognize, the speed to recognize versus the frustration that comes. And that's where I hate doing this, but like throwing a plug in, it's like, you're going to be able to have complete control over sending those gift cards, and you can send out thousands of gift cards. And if you can't do gift cards, We send out gifts which follow the IRS de minimis fringe guidelines so you can stay tax compliant, not to tax your employees on it. But we have different ways to where you can send out gifts or gift cards in literally less than 3 minutes to the winners and the recipients. And we can keep finance happy by invoicing them and just giving them one invoice a month instead of 45 different receipts they have to code and assign to the right ledgers and GL codes and all that garbage. It's like, let's just speed this up and recognize employees. And then you'll see if these gift cards are delivered, you're not going to be in such a negotiation at the end of the year for pay raises because they've seen how loyal you've been. You don't have to just try to convince yourself next year is going to be better because you've been living that promise throughout the year, right? So your culture, not to do more, but like your culture is directly attached to those small little things that, yes, they're not a high value price point, but oftentimes they have the lasting impact. Nobody remembers their paycheck because it's just expected that they get that. But a $50 gift card that 3 months late or that's been fraudulent and doesn't have any money on it, man, I hear that all the time, and I'm on a mission to change that.
Yep, yep. And it's such a simple concept, like speed to recognize. And in a world that's overrun by technology, we should be able to do something as simple as like, Trey does something awesome. I want to recognize him. Click a button. Boom, it's there in 20 minutes or 3 minutes, however long it takes. So I really like that speed to recognize. And in this new world with AI everywhere, and that's only growing, like human connection is the new most valuable currency, and recognition is such a big part of building connection, building cultures. So yeah, what you're doing to help evolve that is very practical and very, very big in this new world. So we appreciate it. We recognize you for doing that.
Thank you. Look at that speed to recognize right there.
Boom,
See,
right there. 10
it's
seconds.
amazing.
There we go.
All it needs. It's all you need. I love it.
Well, we like to end every episode the same way, giving our guests an opportunity to give someone a shout out. It could be someone from the past, the present. It could be a teacher. It could be a boss, a family member, maybe someone that made you feel appreciated over the years. So I want to give you a chance to recognize someone.
Oh, I think hands down, the person that comes like best leader I've ever had, and he's the one who gave me that book, but his name's Dave Lanehart. Just such a stellar dude, and always gives the shirt off his back to help everybody around him. And the dude has made more of an impact on my life for how I lead and how I interact with people and who I want to become than anybody else other than like my immediate family with my dad and my mom and my siblings and stuff like that I'm around on a regular basis. But just super awesome and grateful for him and the impact he made to me. I wouldn't be where I'm at or have the level of influence that I do or the confidence to be able to have these conversations or presentations or things like that I do without his guiding influence. When I was so young in my career, like there's so much impact that we have when we hire young talent, recognizing that, hey, you're probably not going to work with them forever, but the way that you interact with them right now literally creates the trajectory. I think all three of us could think back to situations. And even I look at people that I hired right out of college to do a crazy sales job and go to different places all over the country to talk to people about getting rid of spiders and things like that and bugs. But one of them is an anesthesiologist, and he still calls me all the time and checks in and sees how I'm doing, and vice versa. And one of them's a doctor, and the other one is running a very successful car detailing business up in the Pacific Northwest. Like, it's just cool to see those guys still call me and express gratitude. And I do the same thing to Dave. And we just have so much power with these young people, and what they do with the rest of their life happens with how we treat them right now, independent of if we think they're entitled or whatever. Like, give them the benefit of the doubt. You were entitled when you were young too. And the people that help us the most are the Daves who see us for who we can become and not who we are, and push us to reach our expectations and push us to become the best versions of ourselves.
That's amazing. Well, shout out to Dave.
Shout out,
and
Dave.
In the spirit of appreciation, Trey, you can let Dave know that Nick and Zach are going to send him a Visa gift card. It's probably not going to get to him until December
2032.
Yeah, maybe $32 left remaining balance, but we want to do that for Dave. That's awesome, Trey. Thank you so much for your time today. These are such helpful, practical nuggets of how we can build cultures of recognition and appreciation in a way that's not only manageable, but scalable and meaningful. So thank you so much for being here, buddy. And can't wait to see you in person again, just a couple short weeks.
Well, just a little bit. We'll be right there. I can't wait. So it's going to be awesome. Super grateful for what both of you do. Like, I can't give you both enough kudos. And I tell everybody that I can about CultureCon, and just the people there are a different breed. They're a different breed, and they're the types of people who are moving the needle with their organizations, not just there to check a box and just be away from the office for a few days or a few hours. Like, those people literally want to do it, and the people that are listening to this are in that top tier percent. And just super grateful to be associated and around you guys. Y'all are doing some awesome stuff. So you guys
Thanks,
keep it
Trey.
up.
Thank you. We appreciate the partnership, and CultureCon 2026. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon.
That's a wrap on this episode of the official CultureCon podcast.
If you got something out of it, share it with a friend, a teammate, or a fellow culture geek.
And don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode.
And if you want more ways to stay connected and inspired, check out our upcoming events page for a full listing of webinars, workshops, and conferences.
You'll find the link in the show notes, and we'd love to welcome you to a CultureCon event soon.
Until next time,